Hello and welcome to EA's Data-Driven Solution Plan. This is the BIMS Capstone, April 17, 2016, by Lincoln T. Stanley. First, a company overview. EA was founded in 1988 as a game development studio that sought to treat employees basically more like artists than employees. They currently leverage popular series like Battlefield, Madden's NFL 16, other EA sports titles, movie titles like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and popular racing games like Need for Speed. EA's traditional competitors are third-party publishers like Activision Blizzard, first-party publishers like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, but they also exist in a changing marketplace that has, with the introduction of VR. According to the 2015 audit, they had revenue of $4.5 billion, and their top-selling title was Star Wars Battlefront with $13 million in sales. Some of the issues they're facing for political reasons, the games are still the scapegoat of some issues, as Hillary Clinton has said back in the 90s that we need to treat violent video games the way we treat tobacco, alcohol, and pornography. Shifts from more digital-based or physical-based sales to digital-based sales is affecting EA as they're more focused on physical sales. And then the shift of the social demographics of gaming to more equal basis between male and female will force a shift in how advertisements and things are handled for games. But also looking at things like tech changes in gaming, we're looking at VR being a $150 billion part of gaming by 2020. Environmentally, the shift to digital distribution will negate the need for disc manufacturing and save money, and also help the environment by negating the need for shipping. And also, we're going to be looking at legal issues like DRM, which killed 2013 SimCity in its grave and was a public relations disaster for SimCity, or for EA, I apologize. EA does have many strengths going into this, though. They can leverage existing titles and licenses like Star Wars, and also do not rely on a certain console they need to publish for, so they can jump platforms depending on what is in vogue at the moment. But they do have weaknesses like a lingering effect of winning Worst Company in America twice in a row. Still known for poor customer service, and also they have a lot of their games have met with poor reviews lately from users and critics. There are many opportunities for EA existing with some of their licenses, be able to make like the killer VR apps, such as a Battle of Lord of the Rings. Focused on emerging markets such as India, China, Cuba. But some threats emerge, like the focus on digital distribution, such as EA's Origin only taking about 10% of the market, while Valve's Steamworks has about 85%. And also, they have no VR apps at the moment, while Valve's The Lab is widely known right now as the killer VR app. So looking at the business problems, we see a changing gender demographics as female gamers make up 50% of the market now. PC is largely becoming the most played platform, which will change the focus as EA has largely focused on console games in the past. Also, most EA games have white male protagonists, and like I said, a changing demographic background will make the need for female and minority protagonists extremely important moving forward. And also, increased importance on the focus of emerging technologies such as VR will force EA to make changes on how and what they develop for in the future. For a solution, EA will need to focus on making Origin more able to track gender and demographics of their users based on location, gender, demographics, age, things of that nature, what platform they're currently playing on, so EA will know which platform to focus on for development in the future, as well as as well as knowing where and exactly what games will be played and what genres are the most played at the moment, so EA can focus on those in the future as well. Major areas of impact will be publishing, advertising, and design. And instead of focusing so much on sales numbers, we'll be looking at demographics as it goes to publishing, looking at where and what games are being played, and design using things like heat map to make more player-friendly maps, and trying to design more inclusive marketing materials instead of the over-sexualized ads as seen on this slide. Looking at the high-level timeline, it's going to be a combination of subject matter experts, managers, and group teams at every level, from publishing to marketing to development, as they seek to have their own timeline, as EA has an overall company-wide timeline, as every group seeks to meet their own goals. But looking at the gap required versus the existing capabilities, instead of focusing so much on sales, we're going to start looking at demographic targeting, taking the data from that, structured and unstructured, moving it through MicroStrategy solutions, as we seek to take that and use that data discovery in order to look at where players are playing, which players are playing, demographics and things, and what players are playing on. And once again, coming back to VR as it is the emerging market at this time. We're also going to be looking at new processes such as MicroStrategy's Secure Cloud, which will equal EA be able to use current PCs, tablets, and smartphones instead of having to rely on hardware upgrades. And also by focusing on just hiring a few B&I professionals, since most of that will be handled on MicroStrategy's side, it will also save EA money in the long term in staffing. Assuming a wash on gender, a 50-50 male-female split, using social media platforms and connections to other outside data sources and uploading to MicroStrategy's Secure Cloud, EA needs to focus on collecting things such as mailer status, income level, things of that, and age, in order to drive visualizations on the back end for each department, in order to make connections, maybe not so much focused on the past, to drive future development. But using that data mining, like I mentioned earlier, using heat maps, see how players actually play. We'll be able to draw schemas to be able to pull the data that each department needs to see, and make the actual visualization process easy, as through the web-based visualization tools offered by MicroStrategy. But looking at data analysis, basically we'll be looking at title, genre, budgets, and marketing by gender, platform, and region, looking at sales breakdown, and being able to draw conclusions about what works where, and looking at how to focus on, marketing, what titles develop, and what marketing and budget to focus on as time goes on. EA is going to need 100% data accuracy, so a data audit will need conducted as the transition continues, but they're also going to need B&I professionals to make meaningful visualizations on the back end for every department, as well as having departmental experts make visualizations for their teams to be able to show the data that each department needs to enable to drive their departmental goals. Looking at the type and quality of costs, looking at an overall cost of around $11 million, which is a per user cost of $1,323. So with EA's employee count of 8,400 people, with that we're looking at a cost of $11,113,200, which includes hardware, training, software, etc. Anticipated benefits will be lowered annual costs due to the less required hardware, easier created visualizations. Creation of subject matter experts would lead to less downtime for minor issues, and the increase in sales from the switch over will lead to increased revenue with the overall ROI of 21.1. And just the conclusions, just the focus on it will lead to more sales, lower cost, and a more scalable B&I platform for EA to use, which will make them more competitive as the 21st century continues.